And like we say, the feminine ta is referred to as the ta'u ta'nith. So alhamdulillah, I think that is what we discussed, and I think we did quite a bit of exercises on explanations, for example, where we found that sometimes we might find a word which has an Arabic, or we would say we have a noun, and we would find it, we would find a masculine noun, and that same noun can also be converted over into a feminine, a part of it instead, or I would say, we found that the word mu'allim, we had mu'allimun, okay, and then then if we had to change it to a feminine version of it, we would say mu'allimatun. And I think what we observed was the fact, that where that mu'allimun, the mim, what we do is we add a ta marbuta to the last letter, and very, very important, that the second last vowel, which is now the one before the ta marbuta, that one now automatically, takes an ah sound. As we had mentioned, for example, when we look at mu'allimun and mu'allimatun, if I can just maybe just click on there to just give us some indication, if you can, if you can see on the board, as we had mu'allimun, and then when we change that into the feminine, because mu'allimun is, like we would say, it's a teacher, but it's a male teacher. So when we want to change that into a feminine, the feminine version of, we would say a teacher, which means it's a feminine teacher, then we would say the mim, as you can see here, that mim is there, but we add a ta, add ta marbuta, and importantly, if we say mu'allimatun, which means that last mim, which had mu'allimun there, which had the tanween, this now changes to a sound, and it becomes mu'allimatun. Then we had another example where we say talibun. Talibun is a student, but when we want to change it to the feminine version of it, it becomes talibatun. Once again, we can see that last letter, the ba, that's the, and this is important, as we had mentioned, importantly, that we find that your root will stay the same. It is just that you will be adding a ta marbuta to that, and the ta marbuta will take an un. Reason being, because we are now still busy with, so we would refer to as that which is indefinite, or we would say like, if we translate it, it is translated as a, because it's indefinite. Indefinite, when and the sign of indefinite is indicated, where the last harf has got a tanween on there. And then, like, just to give us the last two, just to refresh our minds, we had ibnun, which is a boy, but when we want to now say, now ibnun is a son, so if you want to say a daughter, then it will be ibnatun. Once again, we see ibnun till there, we put the ta on there, that's ibna, that's tun there, and the nun here, it had a tanween here that takes an ah. And the last one we can just do is tilmidun. Tilmidun is a pupil, and we want to refer to a female pupil, becomes tilmidatun. See that dal there takes a ah, and then the last letter it will always take a un. It will always take, like we say, a tanween, but we could refer to it as dommatain. So inshallah, so that is what we did last week, and we did the exercises there. So I think just to refresh the students, and I think if there's any questions regarding that, please feel free, to put it forward before we start our next lesson, which is lesson number 4. And then we can see we did a similar exercise when it was just on, referring to the masculine part, where we say the adjectival phrase. Now, an adjectival phrase is obviously where you have a noun and an adjective qualifying the noun. Remember, the adjective qualifies a noun, and we can see the very same system is going to prevail here. It is just like we will find we are now so the laws will be the same. It is just that we are now dealing with, the feminine part of it. So inshallah, if we look at, for example, let's just read through there, we would say obviously mu'annath. Mu'annath is the Arabic word, when we refer to feminineness or feminine, and obviously mudhakkar is like for masculine. So if we read the introduction there, it says there, lesson number 4, as in the masculine adjectival phrase, the noun comes before the adjective. Always, remember, no? We always said that when we had the very same discussion when it came to the masculine as well. We find that even though in English we would say, you know, it is like, for example, we would say, like we got it there, a clever student, but when you write it in Arabic, you know, you will always find the noun is first, and the adjective qualifying the noun comes after that. Okay, so we would like say the pupil clever, but obviously, as we know, you know, that is the formation as written in Arabic. But when it comes to our translation of it into English or any other language, then we obviously have to translate it into a manner in which an English-speaking person will understand it, or whatever other language we would, for example, translate it to. Anyway, so if we, you know, if we go through it again, then we say there that as the masculine adjectival phrase, the noun comes before the adjective, and it must agree in gender. Importantly, if the noun is masculine, then automatically the adjective must also be masculine. And when the noun of feminine, exactly the same. So if the noun is feminine, then the adjective must also be feminine, right? And if the noun is masculine, as we would say, then the adjective must also be masculine. And there we have 2 sets of examples there. Mu'annath, we see the, you know, on our, in front of the screen where we see that tilmidatun dhakiyatun. You see there? Tilmidatun dhakiyatun, that is a female, you know, a female student. We would say a clever female student. And important, we can see there once again the tanween at the end, you know, the dommatain, the tun, that indicates to us indefinite, therefore it is a. It's not referring to a specific individual, it is indefinite. So we would say tilmidun means a pupil, and dakiyatun means like clever, qualifying, or in the very same, I would say on the very same pattern, on the very same pattern as the noun. And that is important, that the noun and the adjective must be on the same pattern, you know, for that adjective to actually qualify that noun. And I will repeat it because we're going to come to some other examples in our further lessons, you know, or the lessons further ahead. We will see, for example, that if it doesn't agree in the same pattern, means adat or number, if it doesn't agree in the same pattern, then obviously then it has got a different role in the sentence. Okay, so therefore we say tilmidun dhakiyatun means the dhakiyatun qualifies pupil. Why? Because as you can see there, it is on the very same pattern as it is. Both of it has got the tanween at the back. So therefore your translation will be a clever pupil, but because of the tamarbuta, you know, for our reference, I would suggest we would say it's a female clever pupil, okay? Because of the ta. So just for a brain teaser for us there. So if you and I want to change that to a masculine clever pupil, then we would say tilmidun dhakiyun. Are you with me? Everybody with me?
Yes.
Okay.
You really want to unmute at the moment, so it's not, you know, we want to respond immediately after you request. You know,
okay. But you can hear me obviously, no? If I ask the question. So yes, if it so happens that that there's anybody who wants to ask the question, please unmute yourself. You know, I think that is important. They must just unmute themselves. Then we can stop there. Okay, because as I say, it's important if we go through it and everybody can understand it. Because therefore you can see, for example, if you look in the column, item number 2, we say there, rajulun dhakiyun. Can you see there, rajulun, that is a man, and dhakiyun also means clever. And because a man is masculine, you'll find that your adjective is also now masculine, where you will now see, for example, there, now that your adjective is masculine, or your noun is masculine, your adjective is masculine, which means it's no longer dhakiyatun, but it's dhakiyun. Okay, because dhakiyun is the adjective and it means clever, but because of it qualifying a masculine noun, it will now obviously have a masculine form of that adjective. Okay, And yes, we can see when we look at tilmizatun, meaning, you know, it being the noun is feminine, so automatically your adjective, you know, will also be feminine, where the dakiyun is now added with a ta'u marbuta, and it becomes dakiyatun. Okay? Then if we look at something else, for example, when we go further, number 3, we say ghurfatun, that is a room, wasi'atun. See? Ghurfatun wasi'atun, meaning a wide room. Ghurfatun is a room, wasi'atun, therefore we'll have to also take the marbuta to agree with the noun there, and where they agree is because of the ta marbuta there. Because wasi'un, wasi'un is the masculine form of wasi'atun. Okay? Right. Now, if we go to item number 4, shari'un. Shari'un is a street. So obviously, because shari'un is masculine, why do I say it's masculine? Because there's not a ta marbuta on there. So because, and shari'un is like an object, we would say it's not doesn't make reference to a person. So therefore, if it makes a reference to an object, it obviously won't have a ta marbuta on there. So therefore, you would say dayiqun. Dayiqun, meaning narrow, is obviously, it qualifies shari'un, and therefore they are basically on the same pattern there. No ta marbuta there to indicate feminineness, and therefore we would say it is a narrow street. And obviously dayiqun, if you must change that to become what we would say feminine, it will be dayiqatun. See, dayiqatun, because that qaf will now obviously be the second last letter where you're going to add a ta marbuta on there. So alhamdulillah, just that is just to give us some firm ground for understanding with regards to how the feminine works. Because as I mentioned to us, the feminine one is sometimes very, very challenging. But importantly, because here we find that you'll have to add the ta marbuta on there. But like, you know, just for our references again, when you add the ta marbuta, the letter in front of the ta marbuta, like we have it there, the ain there, atun, wasi, atun. You see that ain, it will take a sound. Okay? Righto. Now we go further. Now we explain it, say in the above examples, notice that each adjectival phrase is grouped either in masculine or feminine gender. And that is very, very important. You'll never ever find, you know, in a sentence, you know, that we will find, for example, if the noun is masculine, you know, then you will always find that the adjective qualifying that noun will also be masculine, and vice versa when it comes to, for example, when it's feminine, they will always agree, you know, in pattern. Number 2 example, one shows the noun tilmidun, a pupil, is feminine, and obviously the adjective dakiyatun, clever, which describe it, is also feminine. We explained that already. Number 3, in example 2, rajulun is masculine, so the adjective dakiyun must also be masculine. We saw that there. Number 4, in the examples 1 and 3, the nouns with a ta marbuta. Therefore, the adjectives also ends in a ta marbuta. You know, that is also as we explained. And number 5, note examples 1 and 3 are feminine adjectival phrases, and the examples 2 and 4 are masculine adjectival phrases. I think, you know, I think we're comfortable with that. Now we'll obviously see, now they're going to give us some examples here. And yes, quite a couple of handfuls of new words again, you know, kalimatun jadid, or we say new vocabulary that we'll have to learn on, inshallah. You know, we'll have to one day say, okay, fine, today is going to be a time where we're going to see how, or we're going to assist one another as to how we can actually try and memorize all these words. Like I say, we're still working on things, but if you can also come up with some form of mean and way to actually group the words and so much, inshallah, we would really appreciate it as well. So I think here we can maybe just, you know, read with me, or I will read and then you can just repeat after. Obviously, I can't hear you. Maybe if Yusuf can, maybe, I don't know if some, if it's possible, I can just hear, because it's important that we look at the pronunciation importantly there. So the words, you know, if we, I'll just go through there. For example, if you see tilmidatun is pupil, right? That means female pupil. And then mumtazatun, Mumtazatun, mumtaz. So if sometimes a person say mumtazun or mumtazun or mumtazatun, it means, it's excellent. So you would say, you'll sometimes hear, they're very fond of using that word. Sometimes if somebody did something, you want to say excellent, you would say mumtaz, but like I say, in our case, mumtaz, yeah. Mumtaz means excellent, okay? So I can even we will even do a bit of exercise as we go through here also, just to help us through the process, inshallah. So we can actually simplify it for us as well. So by the time that we do the whole section, then at least we can also do the masculine form, because it's important to be able to transfer something over from masculine into feminine as well. Okay? For example, so tilmidatun mumtazatun.
Mumtazatun.
Okay? Tilmidatun mumtazatun. Everybody, those who can hear, tilmidatun.
Mumtazatun.
Excellent. Tilmidatun mumtazatun. Okay? So now I just want to be a bit challenging to us, and I would say a brain teaser. If you must now change that to be I would say an excellent male pupil, how would you say that? Remember this, tilmizatun, mumtazatun, that's feminine, right? Why do I say it's feminine? Because of the term there. Now, if you must now change that to if you must say that it is a masculine pupil, I would say it's a male masculine. It's a male student that is excellent, then how would you say that? MashaAllah. Tilmidun mumtazun. MashaAllah. So what happens is you eliminate the ta'u marbuta, and obviously then your tanween comes here at the back by the dhal. Tilmidun mumtazun. So beautiful, beautiful, excellent. That was excellent. Now the next one is ibnatun anisatun. Ibnatun anisatun. That is, ibnatun is a daughter, and anisatun is anisatun. Yeah. You see that? Can you see they don't put the sukun on the ya there? So automatically already now you know when you don't see there's a sukun on the ya, and there's no harakat or sign on there, it automatically takes a sukun, a sukun there. So it's ibnatun anisatun. Yeah. Okay? And obviously if you must say that is a friendly boy, a friendly son.
Ibnun anisun.
Again?
Ibnun anisun.
MashaAllah. Ibnun anisun. Great, man. Yeah, that's excellent. Okay. Umun nashitatun. Umun
nashitatun.
Yeah, umun. Nashitatun means active. Active. And what I normally do is, when it came to my time when I had to start memorizing these, I used to, as you can see there, Anisatun is the name of a name of a lady, and Nashitatun is the name of a lady as well. So what I used to do is then I just remember those individuals, and then I would now associate, friendly or active, in this particular case. You see? So ummun nashitatun, nashitatun. And if you must say it is if you must not say it is a active father, how would you try it?
Abun nashitun.
Abun nashitun, yeah. Abun nashitun. Tribe. Okay. Ukhtun muhadhabatun. Muhadhabatun is polite. So it is a polite sister. Ukhtun muhadhabatun. If I must change that to become a polite brother.
Akhun muhadhun.
Akhun
Muhadhabun.
muhadhabun. Shut down the abun. Not abun. Akhun muhadhabun. Akhun muhadhabun. See, feminine is ukhtun muhadhabatun. What you can do here when you say akhun becomes muhadhabun, the ta'u marbuta, falls away, and therefore the last letter takes an un sound, right? Next one, nafidatun, nadhifatun. Nadhifatun, nadhifatun. That is, nadhifatun is a window, nadhifatun means clean. Now, if I must now say that the door is clean, the door. If I say the door is clean, or a door is, or a clean door, how would I actually write that?
Nafidatun babun.
Babun. Babun nafidatun. Ako nafitfun.
Come again? I'm talking about the door. Babun.
Nadhifatun.
Bab is masculine.
Babun nadhifan. Nadhifun.
Nadifun.
Nadifun.
Nadhifun, yeah. Babun.
Nadhifun.
Nadhifun. Remember, the ta marbuta falls away. So if you look at nadhifatun there, if the ta falls away, your last letter is the fa. And that fa will change into a un sound. Okay? Everything stays the same, but that last letter falls away. So the fa is your last letter, and therefore that fa will now change into a marbuta, and there it comes to nadhifun. Next one, kharitatun mufidatun. Kharitatun mufidatun. Kharitatun is a map, and mufidatun is useful. You know, can you remember, one of our honorable sheikh's book's name was, Mufida, Al-Mufida, the useful. Al-Mufida, see? So, Amin Fakir's book, Al-Mufida, it is the useful book. So here we say, kharitatun mufidun. So that is obviously, we would say it is a useful map. So if we must say, for example, it is a useful pen, how would you say that? A useful pen.
Kalamun mufidatun.
Mufidun. Mufidun.
Mufidun.
Qalamun mufidun. Ahsan, beautiful. Qalamun mufidun. Right now, there we see another word, a city, Madinatun. See, Madina, the word Madina means city. And if you say, if you make a reference to Madinatul Munawwara, Madinatun Munawwaratun. Okay, this is just something extra, but you can see there, Madinatun, therefore Munawwaratun. See, the Tamar Bhuta still also is connected to it, because that means the city or the city of enlightenment, that is like you say, when we make a reference to Medina, the city of Medina is Madinatul Munawwaratu. Okay, so you can see there that also becomes famous. So here we say Madinatun Kabiratun. Why? Because Madinatun meaning city is feminine. So obviously then Kabiratun is the feminine form of Kabir, meaning big. So obviously, if you must not say the boy, if you must say a big boy, how would you say that?
Waladun kabirun.
Waladun kabirun, mashallah. Waladun kabirun. Why? Because walad is masculine, and therefore kabirun becomes, as we say, masculine. And the last one we see here, a small village. A village is called a qarya. Qaryatun, that's a word in Surah Yasin that you also hear, when you come to the end of Juz 22, وَجَاءَ مِنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ رَجُلٌ يَسْعَى Medina, see there, and a man comes running from the Medina, from the city, and qarya is a village. See there, so qaryatun, village, me being feminine because of the ta, so therefore you would say a small village is, we say it's qaryatun saghiratun. Okay, and if you must say, for example, it is a small car, how would you say that? A small car.
Sayarun. Sayaratun.
What is a small car?
Sayara. A car.
Sayaratun.
Sayaratun.
Saghirun.
Saghiratun.
Saghirun.
No.
I always say the
Sayaratun
small car. I'm saying that the small car. So how would you say that?
Sayaratun
Sayaratun
saghirun.
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 Saghiratun.
saghirun.
Saghiratun.
Saghirun. Sayaratun saghirun.
Sahiratun is feminine. Sorry, Sayaratun is feminine.
Yeah.
So obviously it must be Sahiratun. You see? It must be Sahir. You expected, because we did exercises for masculine and feminine, so you just jumped on the boat and said, okay, fine, Sayaratun, Sahirun, Sayaratun, Sahiratun. Why? Because Sayaratun is feminine. Alhamdulillah. So I think we're quite comfortable with that now. I'm sure, you know, the way we did it now, alhamdulillah, we should be able to handle it. And if there's any questions, I'm sure, you know, we would be able to address it and so, inshallah. So therefore, as we say here, we find the new words that you've obviously found here in the grouping here as well. We see there, Nafidatun is a window, Madinatun is a city. Yes, new words that we will be adding. Mujtahidun. Mujtahidun is industrious, you know, it's like a hard-working person, meaning hard-working, you know, a person that is committed and so. Okay? Mujtahidun or Mujtahidun. Okay? And then Muhadzabun, as we did there, polite. Mufidun, useful. Mumtazun, excellent. Can we see that is the masculine forms of it? And because we did a feminine noun, so automatically, or wherever there's a masculine adjective, then you just add the ta marbuta to that. Anisatun is friendly. Nashitun is active. Nadhifun is clean. And ghurfatun is room. Okay? So therefore, we can see we did all those, inshallah. And is there anybody that wants me to just go over again with regards to how something becomes feminine, or are we all comfortable with that? Everybody comfortable with that? Okay, awesome. Right on. Now we come to
Clear as mud, Imam.
Aywa. Anybody? What did we say?
I said it's clear as mud.
Okay. Here we go. Inshallah. If we can do this quickly, then we can go on to the other lesson, you know, that because I think, you know, we can see the class are moving, they at a nice pace, and everybody is like, you know, participating, and I'm very happy for that, inshallah. So I think, you know, I can, at least then we can do something else as well, you know, because it's as I say, this is now we familiar with this pattern. So I expect this to be done in say 15 minutes, inshallah, that we can at least still get something new in as well. Okay, exercise number 4, Tamareen, you know, translate the following phrases into Arabic. Okay, fine. Can we open, Yusuf, can we open them? And I just want to get, you know, whoever can just give the answer, then we go on, inshallah, you know, and then we can maybe, whatever. Okay, fine. A useful pen.
Qalamun mufidatun.
Come again.
Qalamun mufidatun.
طيب, no? Qalamun mufidatun, masculine. Second one, a friendly teacher.
Muallamun anisatun.
Mu'allim.
Muallamun anisatun.
Muallimun.
Anisatun.
Mu'allimun anisatun.
Now, if you say it's muallimun, then remember friendly must now also be masculine. Huh? If you're going to say muallimatun, then you can say anisatun, right? Remember, because
Mu'allimatun anisatun.
anisatun. But if you want to say a teacher and you refer to a masculine or a male teacher, then it will be muallimun anisun. Remember that?
Anisun.
The first one, a useful pen. A useful pen, qalamun, is masculine. So therefore, useful.
Qalamun mufidatun.
Mufidun. It will be mufidun.
Yeah, mashallah, shukran, Wasima. Wasima just picked up, you know, I'm sitting here.
Qalamun mufidun.
It's qalamun, mufi,
Dun.
mufid,
Mufidun.
Dun.
not mufidatun, qalamun, mufidun.
Dun.
Mufidun.
Because qalamun, or pen, qalamun, masculine. Then number two, teacher. If we refer to a masculine teacher, then it's muallimun. And then
Alimun.
Muallimun.
Alisatun.
Sun.
no, ani,
Alisun.
Sun.
Alisun.
anisun.
Sun.
And if you're going to say a feminine teacher, if you say muallimatun, then it becomes,
Alimatun. Alisatun.
then it becomes anisatun. Beautiful, beautiful. Righto. Then we come to a polite pupil. Polite.
Pupil. Tali.
Tilmidatun muhazzabatun.
Muhaddaba.
Talimun.
Tilmidatun muhazzabatun.
Yeah. Tilmidatun. That's feminine. Tilmidatun. Mu'adhabatun. Right? And if it will be a masculine, I would say a masculine teacher, then I
Tilmidun.
Umidun Muhaddabun.
Muhaddatun.
Zabun. Righto.
Question.
Yeah.
So with regards to question number B and question number C, how do we know when it's male and when it's female in that context over there currently?
Where they asked the question, yeah.
Yes, in those
Okay.
only.
Zahir's question is, yeah, if you look at friendly teacher, yeah, he wants to know, how do we know what are they requesting? Are they requesting you to answer masculine or feminine? That's a good question. What happens is when you find in the exams, then they will put in brackets here, or as you're going to go along, you'll see what they'll do is there, where my cursor is there now, they will put in brackets female. Okay?
Yeah.
Then automatically you know it must be female. You know? So if they don't put female, then it automatically means masculine. Okay? Everybody with me there?
Yes, Imam.
Okay, fine. Righto. Now we come to a long lesson.
Darsun tawilun.
Tawilun.
Absun,
Tawilun.
tawilun. And what is the feminine part of that?
Darsun tawilatun.
Darsun is a masculine word. There's not a feminine part of darsun. You can't say darsatun, you know? So, okay.
Darsun tawilun.
Yeah, you know, no. Now, you see, now it's my time to I would say to reminisce now and say, you know, now I can get used. Okay, fine. So, okay, take note. Righto. The last one here, an old city. What is a city?
Madina.
Madinatun.
Madinatun.
Madinatun. Madinatun. An old.
Qadimun.
Righto. So if you say, what is your answer there?
Madinatun.
Madinatun.
Qadimatun.
Qadimatun.
Madinatun.
Qadimatun.
Qadimatun.
Qadimatun. Type, nah? Because city is always, there's not a masculine part for city. Like some words comes in its original form with a ta marbuta.
Yeah.
So automatically you won't find a masculine form. Similar in item number D, like dars will always be masculine. So it will always then take a masculine adjective. Righto. Number 2, translate the following phrases into English. Translate the following phrases into English. Number 1, Madinatun nadhifatun.
Clean city.
A clean city. Type. Next one, nafidatun wasi'atun.
A wide window.
Everybody, are we agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Righto. Shari'un dayiqun.
Narrow street.
Narrow street.
A narrow street, right? Type. Bintun muhadhabatun.
As a polite daughter.
A polite daughter. Everybody agree?
Yes.
Munisuma agree ni o kanala. You know?
Type. Right.
Darsun mufidun.
A useful lesson.
A useful lesson. Type. Beautiful. Number 3. Convert the following phrases. Obviously, when we speak about the phrase, now includes, like you would say, a noun with an adjective. Okay? So convert the following into feminine gender. That's beautiful. Number one, waladun tawilun. The feminine part of
ولدة طويلة.
Bintun. As bintun tawilatun. Tawil, yeah. Bintun
Again,
tawilatun.
Hussein, come again.
Bintun.
Ken jy hulle stemme benou nie sê nie.
As a bintun tawilatun.
Waladun tawilun.
Bintun tawilatun.
That's you know a walad was a boy, so there's not waladatun. It's obviously
Bintun.
bintun
Yeah.
tawilatun. Next one, ibanun mujtahidun.
Natun.
Ibanun
Ibanatun.
mujtahidun. Come
Ibanatun.
again. Ibnatun
Mujtahi. Mujtahidatun.
Datun.
mashallah mujtahidatun. Ahsant. Abun tayyibun.
Umun.
Ummun tayyibatun.
Mashallah. Ma ma'ana abun tayyibun?
Ay,
Ma ma'ana abun tayyibun? What is the meaning? Ma ma'ana. What is the meaning of abun tayyibun?
A good father.
A good father, yeah, a good father. Ahsan. Right on, next one. Akhun anisun. Akhun anisun.
A friendly brother.
أنيسة.
Anisatun. Uhtun. Anisatun.
أخت أنيسة.
Ukhtun anisatun. Taib. Now, the next one. Muallimun mumtazun.
Muallimatun.
Alimatun.
ممتازة.
Beautiful. Chose suitable adjectives from those given in the brackets. That I'm going to leave to us. Okay? I'm going to leave that to us, because we can't do everybody's homework here. Okay. Wasima would like us to just repeat number 3 again. Okay. Number 1, waladun tawilun. What is the feminine danas of that? Waladun?
Ukhtun.
Bintun.
Bintun.
Bintun tawilatun.
Tawilatun. Right on. Next one. Ibanun mujtahidun.
That's true.
Ibanatun mujtahidatun.
Okay. Ibnatun mujtahidatun. Next one. Abun tayyibun.
Ummun tayyibatun.
Ummun tayyibatun. Next one. Akhun anisun.
Uhtun.
Ukhtun anisatun.
Ukhtun anisatun. Last one. Muallimun mumtazun.
Muallimatun.
Muallimatun
Mumtazatun.
mumtazatun.
Beautiful. So can I leave the last 2, 4 and 5 for us to do for homework or for ourselves?
Yes, ma'am.
Or do you want us to do it here now? Come again?
We can leave it for homework.
Oh, that's Butamani. Ik denk hoor van Butamani nie. Dus ek niks antwoorde gehoor van Butamani se kan nie hoor. Vat nou Butamani, ons vat nou.
Silence.
Anyway, inshallah. Can I try and attempt the next lesson in public? I know we haven't got pages for that. It will come. But there we have it on the board there now. It's called the demonstrative pronoun. Moet kan daar nie worry van 'n groot woorde daar nie. Ismul ishara, demonstrative pronoun. Don't worry about that. It's just basically where you find a pronoun. And as we know, a pronoun is something which replaces, a lot of words. For example, if you want to say this is that, then automatically, instead of adding the whole, I would say, package of words, you can just use a pronoun that will indicate, referring to an item or something like that. Can we try this one, or does rather want me to go on to it next week?
Right now, some idea for next week.
Is anybody, yeah, we can obviously go over it again next week. How does everybody feel about it?
Yes, Imam, I think we can continue.
Can we
So what
continue,
next?
inshallah? Everybody, no? Inshallah.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Righto. Now, as we see there, a demonstrative pronoun like this and that, or these and those, okay? This is, important because now we're going to see remember we've been working with phrases all the time. Because, for example, if we say waladun kabirun, meaning a big boy, that is not a sentence. But now we're going to start formulating a sentence. Okay? In Arabic, we will refer to it later as jumlatun ismiya, meaning jumlatun is a sentence, ismiya is a noun, so it's a noun sentence. But now we're going to now start formulating sentences. Okay? So now what's going to happen is we'll find here, for example, there's words that we're going to sort of starting to get familiar with, this and that, and these and those. Okay? So inshallah, it's just that an introduction of that we will see here. So we're first going to do this. Therefore, say in this lesson, we will confine ourselves to the use of this. And therefore, we look at hada, see there? Hada, ha, and alif, and hadihi, meaning also this. And that is important for us to realize. And once again, as we had said, our studies are just going to concentrate mainly on mudhakkar and mu'annath. Okay? Mudhakkar meaning masculine and mu'annath meaning feminine. And remember, you're going to take all those words that you've learnt, in the lessons, the 4 lessons of the past. You will find that you will be getting that continuously now. So we must remember that. It's just now we're going to start adding certain things, and it's now going to make more sense to you. Because if I say to you, waladun kabirun, big boy, or a big boy, what? It doesn't complete a sentence, therefore you say it's a phrase, okay? So now we're going to see there, if we look at mudhakkar, hadha waladun. The word hadha means, now please let me just explain to us, because I don't want us to get confused, because many students do become confused. The word hadha is this, okay? And then obviously waladun is a boy. But now, because whenever you translate into another language, you also got to make sense when you translate the word. For example, if you're going to literally translate it there, like hadha means this, and waladun a boy, if you're going to literally translate it and say, this a boy, that doesn't make sense, okay? Doesn't make. Therefore, you'll see they added on here, this is a boy. But kanala is part of the translation of hadha, okay? But it is not sort of cast in stone that hadha always means is. It just like for us, when we do the translation of this, of the, I would say, sentence here now, we will add in is because that simplifies it in giving us a better understanding with regard to the English language, okay? But if you're going to literally translate it, it's hadha waladun, then you're going to say this a boy, okay? But you can translate it as being this is a boy, but is, once again, as I indicate to you there, that is just brought in to give us better understanding. But the word is, it's not basically, that's not hadha itself, or nor is it waladun, okay? So therefore we can see hadha, waladun is this, is a boy. Waladun will always be a boy. Hadha will always be this. But to make it sense here, we say hadha, this is a boy, okay? The reason why I don't want to commit us to say hadha means this is, because when we're going to go to the level when we refer to definite, when we refer to something which is definite, then we will say hadhal waladu. Then we can't say this is the boy. Then we say this boy. You see? So therefore that is falls away. So I don't want to actually, want us to commit ourselves to say hadha means this is. But when your last letter there, waladun, is indefinite, then you can add in is to to assist you with your translation, because like I say, it is not proper English to say this a boy. Okay? I hope inshallah it makes sense to us. And therefore we can see hadihi bintun. It's also part of hada, but we can see the ha has been brought in here, and that hadihi therefore is this is a girl as well. So we can see both hada and hadihi means this. But if you can observe here, can anybody tell me what do you see is the difference? Why do you think they use hada and why do they use hadihi? But it means the same. Can anybody maybe just give me what they observe there?
Masculine and feminine.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah.
Masculine and feminine.
So the word hada, when you say hada, when you use hada for masculine and you use hadihi for feminine, file that kanala as a reference. So whenever you addressing something which is masculine, you will use hada. And whenever you address something which is feminine, you will now say hadihi. And remember, our whole book that we're going to study, this particular book 1, it's all just for the reference to the singular. Inshallah, when we're going to do book 2 or book 2, we're going to see now we're going to do the dual and the plural. So here only we're just doing all just singular verbs, all not singular nouns, all just singular. Because singular is easy, but inshallah we need to basically strengthen our understanding and also our focusing before we're going to take it further level. But as we say, so importantly, just remember hada is for masculine things and hadi is for feminine things, but both means this, okay? And like we say, to simplify our understanding with regards to proper English, that's why we say this is when it is waladun, meaning a boy, and bintun, a girl. Okay. Is everybody clear on that one?
Yes, Imam.
Naam, no, would say naam, no, tamani, naam. Naam, yes. La means, okay. The first examples, waladun, refers to the masculine noun, okay? And in the second one, bintun refers to a feminine noun. The demonstrative pronoun not only refer to persons, but it can also refer to things. For example, as kitabun, a book, and qalamun, also a book, which means, so as we can see, we are familiar with that already when it refers to, for example, masculine and feminine, it can nouns are things as well, or objects, whatever. So automatically, when we're going to refer to, for example, to a masculine item, then we will also say hadha, and we'll also refer to a feminine item, for example, a sayyaratun, then we say hadihi sayyaratun, because it's feminine, right? Both examples are sentences, very, very important, because your first section that you had done, all 4 lessons that we had done, it all referred to phrases only. But now you can see it makes a sentence, because if I say to you, this is a boy, that is a complete sentence. Okay? This is a boy, that is a sentence. This is a girl, that is a sentence. Okay? Number 5, note that the nouns which follow the demonstrative pronoun are all indefinite, as indicated by the dommatain that we are familiar with. Examples. The use of hada. This is a hada, there's a new word. Hada faslun. Hada faslun. Hada is this. Faslun is classroom, so it's masculine. Why is it faslun? Why is faslun masculine? Because there's no tamar buta at the back. Can you see here? There's not a word faslatun. You won't get a female classroom, okay? So it's faslun. So hada faslun is masculine. So hada faslun is hada. This is a classroom, as we say, brought into the to give us better understanding with regards to that. Okay. Now we go to the next one. Here's some more exercises. Hada daftarun. Hada daftarun. Daftarun is a notebook. Now, can we see in Arabic, as I mentioned to us previously when I discussed the discussion on table? Remember, I said, it refers to specific things. Now, here we can also see, for example, a book as a kitab. But when a kitab is more a book that you read, you know, like a reading book. But now when you refer to a notebook, can you see the word that they use here? They use
Completely different.
daftarun. See there? Daftarun. Hada daftarun. And obviously you can see daftarun hasn't also got a feminine part because you can't say hada or hadihi daftaratun. You know, there's not a word like that. Okay? So that's just things that we need to take note of. But importantly, as you can see, the reason for hada is masculine. It's used for masculine because daftarun is masculine. Why? Because there's no tamar buta at the back. Then again, hada kitabun, this is a book. Hada kitabun. So if you say hadihi kitabun, khata, it's wrong. Why? Because kitab is
Yes,
masculine
promise.
and hadihi refers to feminine. The next one, number D, hada qalamun. This is a pen. Once again, qalamun being masculine, so hada refers to qalamun being masculine. And last one, hada maktabun. Maktabun is a desk. Hada maktabun, meaning this is a desk. So if you must say, this is a library, then it will be hadihi maktabatun. Remember, a library is a maktabatun. You see? Okay, so is everybody comfortable with that? I think that is quite self-explanatory. I will stop by the end of this because the other one is going to be. Then number two, just to guide us through that one again. Number two, hadihi is used for feminine things, right? Feminine nouns. Hadihi ibnatun. See there? Hadihi ibnatun. Why?
Ibn.
Because daughter is feminine and therefore is not
Tamar
hada,
buta.
but hadihi. Right? Right. Oh, then the next one is hadihi ukhtun. Hadihi ukhtun. Right? Oh, this is a sister because sister in this case is
Hadihi.
feminine. A map is called a kharitatun. Right? Kharitatun. Hadihi kharitatun. Why? Because kharitatun is a map, right? And then this is a library, or this is a library. Hadihi maktabatun. See? Hadihi maktabatun, because feminine is maktabatun. And lastly, sabburatun, no, chalkboard. Hadihi sabburatun. Okay? Hadihi sabburatun, being feminine. Inshallah, I'm going to leave us there because you'll see the next one has got a noun and an adjective with it, you know. So that's also, you'll be able to pick it up. So you can go through that so long, but I will start, you know, by hada again just to introduce it next week. But like as I say, you know, this is there's some extra things for us, you know, to work on, and so inshallah. Okay. So alhamdulillah, I think we can conclude on that with that particular lesson there, inshallah. Is there any questions? You know, I think that Yusuf, we can maybe open up and then we can hear, you know, what everybody's response is, you know, to the, you know, you know, what their feelings are and as to how we can improve again, inshallah, if it is, you know, if everybody can maybe just give their views. But I must say, personally, from my side, I'm very, very impressed with the response with regards to the students' participation. I really, you know, is one the feeling, you know, that the way, you know, or the students are actually sort of they're actually benefiting and they can also participate, and I think that is important because at the end of the day, you're going to find yourself that you're going to need to work on your own as well a bit. You're going to have to work a bit on your own, you know. So it's good that, you know, when you participate like this, then we can see how we can actually, you know, go on, inshallah. Is there any thing that you would like to share maybe with regard to the lesson? Any questions? Oh, shukran. Afwan. I see there on the chat also there's some responses coming through there. Yeah? So, shukran everybody. Yeah, inshallah, you know, is there any, do we find, you know, that at least we're getting a hold of it somehow? I think that is what I'm just concerned about, you know?
Yeah.
And I think I like the spirit in the class also, you know, because ons kan nie net elke so sit and everybody is like just, you know, just present, you know? We need to also just liven it up a bit, you know? And we got the characters, got the characters in the class so that we can actually, from there we can actually, you know, they can liven up the class. And I think that is something that, you know, that makes it enjoyable, you know? And alhamdulillah, you know, so on that, in that manner, we can actually, you know, also participate because it's a means that as it motivates others also, you know, to participate as well. So I think, is everybody comfortable?
Yes, Imam.
Yes, Imam. Shukran, Imam.
Shukran,
Alhamdulillah. This is the last thing I think, and Zarina shared something with us on the chat there, with regards to the books. Okay, so I think, and Zarina will obviously come back to us with regards on the availability of the textbooks. You know, those of us, you know, who are now serious about the lessons and want to carry on with it, you know, and maybe to work further on their own, you know. And Zarina will come back to us with regards to pricing on the book. I know that they were, Ibrahim also mentioned, you know, that he also spoke with the people with regard to books. And I think Yusuf and Bita Anwar in Pretoria also, I think they were also busy. So at the end of the day, I think what Auntie Zarina would probably prefer, if, say, for example, the book becomes available, because I think it's probably next week or so, she said, or maybe, you know, very, very soon, then we can maybe just give an indication who's all interested. We can do that on the chat group, and then from there we can maybe just see how many books are required, etc., inshallah. Okay, so inshallah, I think on that note, inshallah, we will conclude. And anyway, inshallah, shukran once again for the enjoyable participation and the time that we spent, inshallah. May Allah reward us, especially now during this time also of Dhul Hijjah. It's time, you know, in acquiring knowledge, and obviously by acquiring knowledge, it's also highly rewarding that we're spending our time on our evening beneficial, you know, acquiring beneficial knowledge. So may Allah reward us, inshallah, and also may each and everyone have a joyous and I would say a heartwarming Eid with your families, inshallah. May Allah to protect us, all those who are not well.
Inshallah.
Shifa and Kamilan, complete recovery. And inshallah also may Allah Ta'ala make it easy for all of us, inshallah. Until we, you know, in the class next week again, inshallah, you know, we'd say fi amanillah, you know. Going, you know, may Allah Ta'ala protect us all, inshallah. Wa sallallahu wa sallam alayhi wa alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Shukran.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum.
Okay, so shukran.
Okay, ma'am. Shukran. Well,
All of the best, my friend. No, you keep well, Walid.
the best,
Keep
you
well,
too.
eh? All of the best, man. Tamani. All of the best, Tasadi. Daris, you know, inshallah, keep well. All of the best. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.